Meanwhile, in Merle, Alaska, Beast shows Chief Paula Robbins around, only to be interrupted by one Magneto. Am I so frightening, Henry?
Oh, my stars and garters. As someone who spent the better part of his teenage years worrying about you murdering me, yes.
Well, and look at what a brilliant creature you've become. What all of you have become. It was fear of me that honed Scott into a leader, that made Jean strong enough to wield cosmic power, give Warren the strength to survive apocalypse, give Robert the strength to discover his Omega potential. Charles gave you steel, but I tempered it.
All right,
I was
maybe you helped us out, but I mean, you didn't do anything for Storm, right? So,
hello. Where do you think she got her love of tiaras from? Look at the shape of my helmet, young man. Look
okay.
familiar?
All right. Well, what about Dazzler?
Oh, are you kidding me? I gave her her first record deal and singing lessons.
Psylocke?
I taught her how to be a ninja.
Nightcrawler?
Gave him the tail.
North Star?
I'm not going near that faggot.
Okay, Merle, I know that Merle, Alaska, we are really welcoming, okay? He's really not this crazy all the time, I swear to God.
Lady, what's your name? Paula?
Yes, my name's Paula.
Paula, you might want to try hooded bomber jackets. I think they'd really compliment you.
Okay, look at this. You think you helped everyone. You helped just a tiny little minute of people. I mean, who else did you help? Here, did you help Emma Frost?
Oh, yes, I told her how to dye her hair blonde.
What about Bling?
Oh,
Right, I don't know who that lesbian is either.
there's a lesbian here? Where?
Oh no, you're right. Oh, my stars and garters, lesbians. No!
Can we
Hello,
go one stretch
everyone.
without saying the F word?
It's fine. We're allowed to
Really?
say it. Yeah.
Okay, we are. All right, good. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 307 of Comic Book Queers. I am your host, Brett, and with me, as always, is EvilJeff. Hi, Evil.
Hello, Brett.
Hi,
Hello,
baby.
world. Hi.
Hello, universe.
Hello, universe.
Hello, multiverse.
Yes. How are you doing? It's a new world. The new X universe has kind of started in the X-Men
From the
comics.
ashes, a new beginning. We are here. It is now the next era after Krakoa, and we have some thoughts about it, which we will share later on in the show.
Later on, but first of all, there's some things that I kind of want to talk about, right? Don't you
Oh,
want to
yeah?
talk about something? Because it's kind of like I was like,
And he was all like, and then she was all like, and then they were all like, and I was all like, what?
Not only are the X-Men back, but the MCU is kind of back too.
exactly. We had two trailers drop for an upcoming movie and an upcoming TV show. Can you believe it? It's been a
can't.
while. I mean, coming up in a few weeks, we're going to be able to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. It's been the MCU is kind of floundering, and so it's fun to have something exciting to talk about. One more
It
than the
is.
other.
Can I go on a rant though? Because when I saw the
Sure.
latest Deadpool trailer, I was all like, you don't need to do this. And what I mean is give away cameos in the movie. This movie is going to make money regardless. Like the trailer could just be the title, Deadpool and Wolverine for 60
Yes.
seconds, and
Yeah.
it would make the same amount of
Yeah.
money. You do not need to show me Sabretooth. You don't
let
need
us
to
have
show
some
me
surprises.
that Sabretooth is like, come on.
Give me some surprise.
Give me
You
some
know.
surprise. But it is coming in a few short weeks, 2 weeks.
Yes, and we are going to be, you'll hear us talking about it.
I actually am going to a fan event. I'm going to go to like the Thursday before it comes out, and there's like some 3 p.m. fan event. Typically, here in New York at the theater I'm going to, they show up. All right. We saw Bodies, 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 and in walks, what's her name? The one that did the voice of Cosmo from Guardians 3.
Right.
Right.
Nice.
So they show up.
The girl from the Borat movie.
Borat, the one that, yeah,
I
Marina
love
Bacalova.
her. I want her in more things.
Me too.
But what we're going to be talking about is that's right. Agatha all along, and Captain America: Brave New World. Am I right?
That's right.
What these are called.
That's right.
They dropped the trailers for them.
They did.
And we're going to watch these live. Whether
Yes,
the
we are.
final cut will make it to YouTube.
I mean, they're
that's to be
trailers.
seen.
I have
I
to
know,
think
right?
that
If they take the trailer down for copyright, you know what? I'm just going to blow my brains out.
Okay.
Let me just should we watch A Brave New World?
Let's watch Captain America 4 first with Mr. Harrison Ford.
All right, here we go.
Make it big. Oh no, don't.
Wilson. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for the invite, sir. I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look.
They said lose the mustache or lose the election.
Get it?
Yeah,
Yes,
but
we-
it's
You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
not
And
to
if we
remember
disagree
this
on how to
piece of shit.
manage this situation,
'Cause it's
then
Harrison.
what happens?
Work with me, Sam. We'll show the world
Okay.
a better way forward.
It's a young Falcon.
although I will say this.
You know,
I will say this. Having them, I'm turning this down a little
Your
bit.
inner circle's been compromised.
Having them have a presidential assassination right before what actually happened. If this was a few days later, this wouldn't have been released.
Power is shifting.
absolutely.
You're just a pawn.
So you're saying Donald Trump is going to Red Hulk?
That would be the real twist of this election.
You may be Captain America.
It's feeling very
Steve Rogers.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, I mean, it's a sequel to that basically.
Yes,
It's also feeling very Hunt for Red October-y. That's like the vibe. I mean, especially with
I
Harrison
like
Ford.
that. I love the cherry blossoms. That's Tiamat or TMN, the Sentinel from Eternals, the Celestial.
Wait, that was in that?
He's flying around that Celestial from Eternals, by the way. Red Hulk. Ooh, Red Hulk.
Wait,
Harrison Ford.
um,
Wait.
Yes, girl.
hold on a second. Here's the problem. Falcon the Winter Soldier, I've never seen a show have such an insane drop off. Like the first episode was so action packed and it was funny and it had chemistry, and then they had to rewrite the entire plot of the show because it was
COVID.
because of the pandemic and COVID.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it just went off the rails and kind of floundered and wasn't able to find itself.
Yeah, the
And
villain's
so-
purpose was not clear.
Yes. So my thing is this, if they can zone in on those flying action scenes, this will be a fun, great movie, because that is where the fun is.
What
And
I
that's
like
what
is
I'm
you're gonna have two Falcons now, because we'll have the guy who fixed the original Falcon suit at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The actor's name is escaping me from Top Gun Maverick.
The Latino guy.
Yeah, so sexy.
So-
Soccer player.
Hot.
Yeah. He will be flying around right next to Sam, so that'll be fun. Like, you know.
Are we going to see Red Hulk in this? Is Harrison Ford going to
Maybe
be
they showed him at the end of the trailer.
They did show the Red Hulk at the end of the trailer?
Yes, my love.
Okay, I'm not even paying attention.
I know. What are we doing?
But is he? But what I really want to is Red Hulk a good guy or a bad guy?
A good guy. No, in the original, he starts off as a villain.
He's a bad guy, but then when he becomes Red Hulk, then he's a good guy. But
He
I'm
essentially,
curious.
like, I
but I'm
think
curious if
develops
he
into-
going to be like the secret real villain of this?
We'll see. Who is Giancarlo Esposito playing? So he's got super strength. He's got some sort of powers, serum in him,
Yeah.
maybe. And also, are we going to be seeing Isaiah Bradley, who I enjoyed? One of the only things I enjoyed about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I'm just looking again to see where did the Red Hawk show up at the end of the trailer. You said
Very end. A little stinger at the end. People online.
Oh God! You know what? Yeah, that totally like blew over my head.
Yeah. And also people online. You know those people who watch Marvel movies but don't know anything about the comics but are entitled to their opinions on it? They are like, who is... Do you think there are other color Hulks? Are there yellow Hulks and blue Hulks? Then there are people who are like, whose hand is that on the poster? The poster on our slide? Whose hand is that? Is that Hellboy? Could that be Hellboy?
Right,
Girl. Get some knowledge.
But I think this is what it comes down to with this, is what I'm worried about. The reason I didn't really notice the Red Hawk, and this is the second time I've watched this trailer, I started zoning out about halfway through.
Yes.
I'm just glazed over, and that's why I wasn't even paying attention. I just saw the shield, not even paying attention. I'm not like... I'm just like...
And remember when we used to pay attention to every single detail, every syllable they gave us?
Well,
and now we're like, meh.
I mean, I am like that because I am like that with the next thing that I want to watch.
Oh, that's true. This one's
for us. If I can get it up, hold on a second. This one, here we go.
Oh, we're going big on this one.
We're going to go big on this because this is the one we're like.
Because this is
yes. All right, are we ready for this one? Here we go.
Okay. Detective procedural. So she's still stuck in TV.
Another beautiful day.
She's in what was the Kate Winslet show?
She's stuck in Mayor of Easttown.
Down here by the water.
Cause?
Blunt force trauma.
Pretty cool. That's Wanda.
What happened to you? I have a lead in the case, but I can't shake this feeling I'm seeing it wrong.
October 13th. Almost.
Is this really how you see yourself? That witch is gone,
Shadow King,
leaving you trapped in her distorted spell. Claw your way out.
Do it. She's going through all of her characters in WandaVision. Original Agatha.
I miss the glory days.
I love Captain.
She took every bit of
She's
power
amazing.
I had, but I can beat that witch again.
She's got a coven. What is that?
Well, the gang's all here. Let's
Billy! Oh my god, this coven.
I'm gonna walk the witch's road. The road is a death wish.
Addie Lapone.
Join me.
Billy. So Billy's in an institution? Isn't that true to comics?
What witch in her right
I think
mind
he was
would
just
join
adopted.
Agatha Harkness's coven? Not looking for right-minded witches, as it happens.
Hey, he's cunty. Billy's cunty.
Sweetheart, you okay?
Oh my god!
Ooh.
Where's she going? Where's she going?
Billy's gonna be cunning. Billy is going to be a faggotron.
Welcome back.
I mean,
to
they've
Rockstars
already.
Very
Oh,
Awesome.
hold on a
This is
second.
Do
Brain
not
by
cross
brain
promote with
breakdown
new
of
rock
everything
stars.
you
I can't believe it just started playing the next thing. It's
why
okay.
am
Me and Eric have the same birthday, so
is it the 14th?
we'll talk about that later.
Oh my
Ah,
God. We're gonna talk about Longlegs later, by the way. But back to Agatha all along. I'm excited for Sashir Zamata myself.
she's someone who I want to start like hashtag justice for Sashir Zamata, because she didn't do that much when she was on SNL, but I have seen her live doing stand-up. I have seen her in podcasts. I've seen her in other TV, that one sitcom she's in.
Home Economics, I fucking love it.
And
so
then
funny in it.
this, she's
so
so
good.
funny and so talented, and I feel like she got a raw deal on SNL because she was never, it's like,
100%.
how can she be this talented and she never had an iconic character? Like, they just never gave her anything.
There are a handful of people that were on SNL that were so talented that SNL did not know what to do with them. Jenny
Slate. Oh, well,
Tim,
jinx.
Tim Robinson. Sashir Zamata.
Yeah, they did. What's the other one? Oh, fuck.
Robert Downey Jr.
Why can't I think of her name? Never mind. I just...
yeah, sure.
But there's another girl. She was a Groundlings, and then she got kicked off after one season. And she's... now, go ahead and vamp. I need to find her name really quick.
So our coven in Agatha is Patti LuPone, gay. Joe Locke, gay. Sashir Zamata, mother. Who else do we have?
Was I just crazy that I saw the mom from that 70s show who was in the series?
Yes, it is her. Deborah Jo Ruff.
Jo Ruff, yes. Michaela Watkins, sorry, that was the other SNL person that I thought.
Michaela Watkins, another one. Genius. Did you see that movie with her and Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Yeah, great. She's great. I love that director too. That director is amazing. Nicole Holofcener.
Okay.
Anyway.
Sure.
Anyway, but do you think, is there any cross promotion? Not cross promotion. I'm not using the right word. But that the Shadow King could be in this.
No, come on. She's going to play like Lilith or something.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be someone witchy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just looks like it's going to be really fun. There's also things where I'm like, are all of them stuck in TV world? Because sometimes it looks like they're stuck in movies or TV shows.
Interesting. I can't wait to see how.
So I'm like, is she remembering things from the past, and then she's still stuck in the T world, or? Yeah, because that definitely looked like they were like in a zombie movie and other things. Like I'm curious. Also, but let's talk about the main thing. Is we have
Deborah Jo Rupp was in WandaVision, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was the wife of somebody
that's right.
in the 50s episode. That was the first time when it started to peel away,
Over
and they're
for
like,
dinner.
Yeah. My question: Joe Locke, who plays Wiccan, what is your let's say if you had to give a guess, how has he entered the MCU? Is he a real character, or is he just a character in these in this TV world?
That's interesting. It looked like when they were in the institution that felt real, and I think they're gonna stay true to the comics in that it's Billy's soul that entered this other kid's body. Like perhaps this kid was, a brain dead or something in a coma and like was replaced. Who knows? But I think they'll stay true that soul Billy from WandaVision, body not Billy from WandaVision.
Yes, I hope that then they show Speed, his twin brother, as well. To also will show up
with what happened to him. Yeah, we'll see. I'm very excited.
I'm super excited. When does it say it's coming out?
September 18th. September. So we've got Deadpool and Wolverine in July. We've got Agatha in September. And I believe Captain America's not till like February of next year, I think. Like they shot their wad early.
Yeah. Well, it's good to get the buzz going. Barbie had a real early trailer.
Yeah.
I love that. There's another thing that I want to just bitch about, really. Not bitch about, but talk about, because you said something and it made me remember. You talked about bodies going into souls. I don't have a slide for this because it's literally just coming up. I am watching a Thai, very like adult with lots of sex scenes. BL called My Stand-In. Mm-hmm. And basically this rich guy is in love with an actor. A rich guy's in love with an actor.
Oh my God, imagine that.
But the actor's straight. So he starts fucking his stand-in, his stunt double, and only fucks him from behind because it looks like him from behind. Anyway, the stand-in, this poor stuntman falls in love with him, realizes he's just using him. he decides to leave him. The other guy tries to kidnap him, so he won't leave him. He escapes, ends up getting killed, wakes up 2 years later, wakes up in someone else's body. And so he's like, I'm in a different body. But then he's like, I need a job. I guess I'll go be a stuntman again.
All right. Can this body do it?
So this guy, in the past 2 years, this guy is like, you know what? I really was in love with him. I wasn't in love with that actor. And now he's obsessed with him. But then he sees this new actor and he's like, from the back, you look like my ex that died. I will pay you money. So he's now the stand-in for the actor. It's
my God,
it's
so
the most meta, crazy,
So meta.
and
So
it's
many levels.
all about doggy style sex.
Yeah.
So it's
from
also
behind.
that's why if someone only wants to fuck you from behind, it's because they're thinking of somebody else.
That's entirely correct.
And then the other thing I just want to say, I am having an emotional breakdown. I'm very fragile.
Right now?
Yes.
You're wearing it well.
Right this second. It's just that we also, the last episode, I believe we talked about all of these gay dating shows.
Yeah, I see the boyfriends a lot.
The boyfriend is already throwing me for a loop. There's one part where a guy's hitting on him and then they're like falling for each other. And then he's going through the guy's phone and the guy's like, here, look at this picture. And it's a dick pic. And then the guy just goes. It's like, he's like, you ruined it. And you're like, ah! Like, it's so dramatic. And I'm like, ah! And then the Korean one is even worse because two of the guys, they walk in, they used to date.
No.
And the one pretends that he doesn't know the other one.
Stop.
And both of them are saying that the other one ghosted the other one.
Of course they are. Men are dogs.
And the last episode was just, the whole episode was them screaming and fighting at each other. And basically like, and he's like, you're trying to ruin my life. Why are you here? Why are you here? I hate you. And the other, and you kind of realize is that, and when the other guy is in love with him, the one's in love with the other and the other one doesn't like the other one. But the one that's in love is trying to be like, I'm over it. And he's not over it. And one night I got 2 hours of sleep because I watched it at 11 p.m. and I just I think it's because my relationship's so healthy. Watching a real
dysfunction in our lives.
Watching a real fucked up relationship like play out on TV, I just kept running it through my head of like, are they together? Did they get through it? What's happening? Anyway, these gay dating shows are making me go through it, girl.
What is the Korean one again?
It's called His Man, and it's on season 3. And all 3 seasons are great. Season 2 has such an amazing love story that now the two people that like the main two that fell in love are now huge YouTube celebrities.
Oh, cool.
And it's just of them of like living their couple lives.
Great.
Should we move on to what we're watching?
Let's do that.
What you watching? Is it me naked? No? Oh, fine.
What are we watching?
What we're watching, and it's so funny, is I'm watching something simple like romantic gay relationships, and I am haunted. I can't fall asleep. But then I'm going to watch people get their legs cut off and puppets telling you to turn in your parents if they're woke. And I feel nothing.
Same.
The boys.
The boys. Yeah, it's they're on the right side of history, the writers of The Boys. It's just not quite as engaging as it once was.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because what is happening in real life is way more scary.
It's sicker. Yeah.
It's way more
Boys
frightening
like
what's
a
actually
tame
happening.
version.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Anyway,
I guess is no fault of theirs.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't even know what to.
One thing I think is
what
that
to say.
We're on the other side of the joke of The Boys. This is the season where the show said, "Don't you idiots get it? We've been making fun of you." So it's so laid on thick. It's so spoon-fed at this point, where it used to be subtle and satirical. Now all the political humor is, it's just so overt, and it's so reflective of the garbage we are living in that it sucks.
Yeah. I just am not. I feel like it's all of this flash, but I think the thing that they really dropped, I think they tried to have everybody have like a thing that they're fucked up over. So everyone has a trauma. Everyone has a trauma. But the problem is because they individualized everyone's trauma, nobody is talking to each other.
Right.
And so there's no relationship.
Good point. Yes.
So remember when Huey was like, I got sexually assaulted and I'm not okay. This week, fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, so it was like, oh, it was just played for a joke. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, he's fine. There are, I think, a few rewarding moments. Like, for some reason, I'm invested in Mother's Milk's journey of really wanting to quit.
Because he actually has a relationship with his wife and his daughter.
Right. And also, he's developing a relationship with A-Train. I think the relationship between Mother's Milk and A-Train is actually really interesting.
A-Train has the most...
You pulled me into this, and so you can't quit now.
He has the most interesting arc, especially when he saved A-Train, and that little kid saw him, and it was and he was like this, and he said in this episode, this was the first time I saved someone without a camera to show it. And I realized, like, oh, this is like what I'm supposed to be doing.
It was the first time I didn't hate myself. And I like the A-Train journey. I like the Mother's Milk journey. Everything else, it's just kind of...
And also R.I.P. Tilda Swinton.
R.I.P. Tilda Swinton. Oh, my goodness.
As
Thankfully, she's freed up
lover.
to do Problemista 2. That scene was funny. So there were some good, deep moments, as always. That was a hilarious scene, that domestic squabble between the Deep and the octopus.
The other one is when Sage gets fired by Homelander, which I'm like, that's a huge mistake. Oh yeah, have the smartest woman in the world be not on your side. But when she walks away and then she's like, I got fired, it's over. And he's like, and then Noir's like, what? But everything we had. And he's like, oh, she had to lobotomize herself to have sex with you too? And he's like, lobotomize? What are you talking about?
So you did get the feeling that there was something kind of almost authentic between Noir and Sage.
Yeah, or the fact that she didn't have to lobotomize herself to fuck him because he's normal. But
I just love that they kept that relationship secret. So it was such a great moment for Noir to be like, but I'm in love with you. And you're like, wait, what? They've been doing,
I do like that the fact that Noir started whoever the real person is that's pretending to be Noir, he starts flying and they're all like, what?
What is he doing? He's doing it. That fight scene was a fun moment where the Deep and Noir tried to kill Butcher and Starlight, only to be saved by A-Train and Mother's Milk.
Also, Starlight not being able to use her powers, I'm over it.
Well, baby, I was over that in the Bendis run where Emma and Cyclops couldn't use their powers. I hate that trope of like my brain's not working, so my powers ain't working.
Was that right after the Phoenix Force?
It was the Bendis run. It was.
Yes, it was right after they had the Phoenix in them. Was that was the reason? Yeah, I think that was the
correct.
reason. Right?
It was after the Phoenix 5. Right.
Oh yeah, I just find because it's always just going to be like, you know what? I'm not ashamed that I got an abortion. Woo! And then her powers will come, and I'm just like, oh.
Exactly. I mean, it's a shame that. So we're on season 7. We're on episode 7. I'm asking myself, like, is it the finale next week? I hope so. Usually I'm like, I hope it goes till 10. Now I'm like, 8's going to be the end of it, right?
I'm hoping.
I
want Gen V. I'm at the point now where I'm like, just get back to Gen V. Which, I mean, is going to be very sad, though. Especially because they said they're going to just kill off that character in the first episode, which I'm like... That's just going to be really depressing.
Very depressing. But I mean, as bad as The Boys is, I still am invested in the season. I still want to see where it goes, mostly because of Sister Sage. I want to see what the ultimate payoff of Sister Sage is. Obviously, we know she's going to die.
Yeah, I'm not fully bored.
I'm not fully bored.
Yeah.
It just, this used to be the shit, and now it's just kind of a little mid.
Yeah, and I think that's for me. I have a very low bar. Unlike my husband, who is very picky with stuff.
Yes.
But if I am not bored, I will say I liked it, which I think maybe leads us to our next thing that I want to talk about.
Welcome to the movies, everybody. And we are going to review the new horror movie, Longlegs.
Longlegs. Shall we give it a 1, 2, 3?
Yes, please.
All right. 1, 2, 3. It's fine.
I hated it.
Oh, you hated it. Yeah. I thought it was just, I wasn't bored. That's what I'm going to say. I wasn't bored, so I won't say I hated it.
I wasn't bored because I switched my lens. I took off this is a cool supernatural horror lens.
It is not, that's the main thing. It's not a horror movie. It's an homage to Silence of the Lambs.
It's True Detective.
It's True Detective Silence of the Lambs with some like supernatural aspects to it.
Right.
And I feel in the beginning it was playing like a horror. Then they just gave up on it.
Yeah. They were like, no, he's just a dude. Longlegs, he's just Nicolas Cage. Oh, spoilers.
Oh
for
yeah.
Longlegs.
Well, people who come to see this show, they should know better.
They don't give a shit. They're not
listening. Basically Longlegs is on the 14th. If families get murdered, it's not always on the 14th, but it's always they murder families where a girl has a birthday on the 14th.
If the daughter's birthday is on the 14th, then this family will likely get murder-suicided.
And it stars the girl from It Follows. I can't remember her name. I probably should pull up the cast. Let's pull up the cast here.
Do that. Well, we know Nicolas Cage is the titular character.
Maika, M-A-I-K-A. Maika?
Okay.
Maika Monroe. I like her. My friend though said my friend said she does lip acting. She's always just like and I was like, oh my god, she does do that. It has Alicia Witt. Who what? Did you not know?
God, the mom. That's
the
right.
mom. The mom. Oh look, I'm watching your brain explode right now. The mom is Alicia Witt, the daughter from Sybil.
I love her.
But
and also the little girl from Dune.
Yeah, the little girl from Dune. The Anna Taylor-Joy's character from Dune.
Yep.
She did not pull. She could have done so much more with that role.
Yeah.
That could have been such a campy, such a change. There's also just things where the main thing that I did not like about it is they treated us like we were stupid.
There were so many spoon-fed, over-explained moments.
But spoon-fed things were then, like literally in the beginning. So it's all like, girls born on the 14th. Blair Underwood is the other cop in it. And then Lee Harker is the main character's name. She goes to the and the little girl's like, are you going to come to my birthday? And you're like, well, when's her birthday? On the 14th? And so through all of this, does Blair Underwood ever feel concerned that his daughter is born on the 14th? And they're literally like, where she's like, there's going to be another murder this month for a family where someone's born on the 14th. And Blair Underwood's like, no, there isn't.
No, there isn't.
Anyway, hope to see you at my daughter's birthday on the 14th.
And it's so weird because
like what?
Said, this movie isn't, there are supernatural elements. It's not as supernatural as you think. But Blair Underwood's character is acting as if this is a ghost story. Like, I don't believe any of this. When it's just a police procedural. Like, it's real things.
No, happening. But it's not just a police procedural because it was established that psychics exist. Because he's like, you passed the psychic test and you're psychic.
Which also, what is the point of her being psychic?
Half psychic. She never uses it. She never uses it ever.
Ever.
Because when she has a psychic vision, she doesn't tell anybody. I also, at the end, there's murders happening, and she's just standing there like, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to go kill her now. And then she's like, oh, no. I'm like, are you going to, okay. Oh, no.
In the kitchen?
No, okay. It just, there were so many things that did not make sense to me.
It just didn't add up. Or
do you know who directed this? You know who directed this?
Osgood Perkins?
Anthony Perkins' son.
No way.
Isn't that crazy? Nepotism.
Nepo baby. Norman Bates Jr.
Yeah. I will say the opening of this, was scary.
Yeah, in that square ratio.
And I do feel in the blight and bright lighting, Nicolas Cage and all the prosthetics and everything they had on him was scary. And I will say this, I think Nicolas Cage was really fun in this. I think he was crazy and fun and great.
But the script, I thought, like, there was that scene where he started screaming in the car. What was the point of that? That didn't match any of the other character moments that he had throughout the movie.
Yeah, I think they should have kept him more esoteric, where you didn't even see him until he was arrested, like Kevin Spacey.
I think you could have paid off Longlegs by always
having it cut up and then not reveal it until the very end.
Until the very end. Yeah.
It's just, I felt like there was... Yeah, I felt like there was a good idea there, but then some of the acting and then some of the script just did not pay it off for me.
Correct.
And it's one where I was entertained, but the more I sit with it, the more I do not like it.
Yeah, I would say go watch Barbarian instead.
See, and that's the problem. And I think TikTok, the new way to promote a movie, especially a horror movie, or a weird like A24 movie, is there's all these TikToks of people like, this was the scariest thing I ever saw, right. And it looks real, and it's all being probably actors and stuff, but it doesn't say sponsored, and it literally is a bunch of people on your TikTok saying this is the scariest thing they've ever seen in their life. So then I go and watch it, and I'm like, this is literally 0% scary at all.
Longlegs is a symptom of expectations not meeting reality. Like, the marketing created this whole set of expectations. This is a supernatural thriller. This is terrifying. And when neither of those things.
And honestly, if they marketed it as, it's the Silence of the Lambs homage, I might have liked it more, because then I wouldn't have had these expectations of it wanting to be scary.
If you marketed Longlegs like the character as the next Buffalo Bill, the next kind of like crazy serial killer on film, it'd be great. We would all get behind Nicolas Cage playing this new serial killer. But instead, they just kind of misled us into thinking it's one thing that it's not.
Yeah, and I find movies are really doing that a lot, where they're kind of pumping up things that are comedies that aren't comedies, pumping up things that are scary that aren't scary. Where then you feel like you're going to see a certain movie and it's not, or they lay into a certain actor who's hardly in it. Like, I just hate, the marketing really ruins it. Or they show you the whole entire plot of the movie.
Do you know what movie was marketed as having an actor be central to it that was not central to it, was hardly in it at all? I'll never forget this. 13 Ghosts, which was a horror movie.
Who was the actor?
It was Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie, like the Russian girl that they watch get naked, problematic, on the internet on American Pie. She was marketed as being like the central final girl in that movie, and she is in 4 seconds of it.
Well, maybe they were trying to do the Drew Barrymore thing, where Drew Barrymore was promoted as the star, but that was the fake out.
She wasn't killed in the beginning. She just showed up every once in a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of like teen stars from the 90s, R.I.P. Shannon Doherty.
And I know.
And R.I.P. Richard Simmons.
Like Dr. Ruth, Richard Simmons. Yes, that's tough. Richard Simmons is tough.
Oh, wait, Dr. Ruth and Richard Simmons. I thought you were like making it one person. Dr. Ruth, Richard Simmons.
Dr. Ruth, Richard Simmons.
I'm going to tell you about sex now. Jazzercise.
Dr. Simmons, please call me Ruth Richard. So Shannon Doherty, though, because Shannon Doherty, like, you and I were the same age as the 90210 kids in the original.
And Heathers is one of the most important movies that ever happened
is one
to
of
me.
Like, Shannon Doherty was iconic.
You don't understand. I was being hardcore bullied, and then Heathers came out.
As Shannon Doherty?
And I, emotionally. That movie came out, and I remember being like, you can kill them? I'm surprised I didn't end up like a Columbine kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm very, so it's very, that makes me very, very sad.
Very sad. Thank you, Shannon, for all you did.
And
not you, Dr. Ruth.
Did I ever tell you the time I went to the doctor when I was a kid? And so when I was a kid, Dr. Ruth was more prominently known as that sex therapist. And my cousin jammed a Q-tip in my ear, and it was bleeding, and I ended up having to have my cousin when I was 9. So no, not during sex. You fucking pervert. But anyway, I had to go get my eardrum reconstructed. But when I first went into the hospital, the doctor came in and it was this like man and he just went, "Hi, I'm Dr. Ruth." And my mom just busted out laughing and he just was like this. Like, because this is not the first time this happened. Every time. And he was so mad. And I was like,
he must have gotten like, funny, I thought you were shorter, like so many times.
Oh, speaking of me having the other memory of this, I stabbed my eardrum and I remember going like, what if I go deaf? And my mom went.
Your mom sounds like a cut up. She sounds awesome.
Well, now she's good. Now she has hearing aids. So karma.
Oh, good. See, you can't make a joke like that.
My kink. Have you listened to Chappell Roan?
Oh, I love Chappell Roan.
My kink is karma. That's my favorite song on the album.
Such a good song.
I get turned on by watching your life fail. Yes.
Yes. I just saw a meme that was like, you know what we need? A Kamala Comic-Con. A what? A Kamala Comic-Con.
Because I told you I was listening to that, and then she even says in one of her lyrics, "Let's have sex like that scene in Mulholland Drive."
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm like, is she specifically writing for me to listen to her music?
I told you I went to a Chappell Roan dance party, and I was the only one there that was not a 23-year-old lesbian. And I had a show to do. I did my first improv show in like 4 years recently. Oh my God.
On Friday, which was super fun. But that night on my TikTok, it was like, "Hey, are you a gay in LA? Come to Eagle Rock. We're having a Chappell Roan Charlie XCX dance party where we're only playing them, Britney Spears." I was like,
if we want to talk about what the best song out there right now is, the answer is Von Dutch by Charlie XCX.
I'm really into Apple by Charlie XCX right now. Have you heard that one? Because the viral TikTok dance where it's like, "I got the apple going." Anyway,
I love the age of the pop girlies.
Someone made a Powerpuff Girl. They did the Powerpuff Girls, the logo and everything, but it's Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, and Charlie XCX.
You know who would thrive
drawn
right
as them,
now?
And it was great.
It's so cute. Dazzler, and she should have her own solo series.
Well, but there is something about older pop stars feeling out of touch because we are witnessing the downfall of Katy Perry.
Girl.
I will say, Katy Perry.
Girl, I've never seen somebody do so little and too much at the same time.
Well, here's the thing. People are like, these lyrics are terrible. I'm like, have you heard Roar?
Right.
You all loved that shit in 2016. That's the thing is Katy Perry's being no different, but she's being so no different that she's deciding to work with a rapist again.
Oh my God.
Like, and then doing a song about "It's a woman's world, I can work with a rapist."
Also, which is very reductive.
It's so, and then she, just to like combat all of it, she released a behind the scenes where she's like, "Guys, it's all like tongue in cheek because we're like women, but we're like badass." And it just, and people were like, "Nope.
When that bitch
fake."
posed next to a Tesla Cybertruck, I was like, she done. She done. Give her a cigarette. She's done.
She's done. You know who I want? She's not on my TikTok. She's blowing up, but I looked around. There's times where the algorithm really feeds you, and you think something's popular, and you're like, no, it's just because I'm gay. No one else has heard of this. But Kesha's new song.
Oh wait,
Joyride.
It came on Joyride. It came on in the club last night.
I fucking love it.
Wait,
it sounds like her first album. It sounds like her first album. It's so good.
It's so good.
And this is her first album freed from Dr. Luke. And then Katy Perry fucking does an album with Dr. Luke.
Oh my God, what a piece of shit. Girl.
Because that's the thing is some people, like I forgave Kim Petras for doing her album with Dr. Luke because I can feel like she was a new person and they were telling her to do it and she didn't know any better. Katy Perry fucking knows better.
She chose it.
Oh my God.
Oh,
all right.
Joyride. That is the song, girl.
That is the fucking song.
That is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What are we talking about? Oh
shit.
It's mutants with powers, Omega for hours. Bitch, let's read some X-Men.
Bitch, we read some X-Men.
We read some X-Men.
Bitch.
And we got
X-Men
X-Men number one
We're
from
here.
the ashes.
We're here.
We're here.
Listen.
We're queer. And I don't want to be used to it because
We have to get used to it.
Because this is the thing Hickman was writing. The new thing of the X-Men is we need to dig into X-Men 97. We need to tap into this younger, newer people to come on board and start reading the X-Men. And that's what this new era is about. And that and I get it. Hickman was writing for the most cerebral, high level. I've read every single X-Men comic. He was writing for us. This is not written for us. And so I need to step back and be aware of that, because my main complaint in this is this feels a little for kids.
It is a little for babies.
But that is on purpose, and that is what they're doing.
Yep.
And I understand from a marketing perspective
I
going with I totally understand it. But just overall, it just feels, especially going from Hickman to this, it's like reading To Kill a Mockingbird, and then they're like, our next book is Twilight. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
it's just
Yep. This is Twilight.
Yeah, so I'm not saying this is bad, but it's definitely, I feel a little stupid reading it. We're like,
It's not bad. It's just juxtaposed to where we came from. It's a little bit of a dip.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're assuming this was written for people. It mentions Krakoa, it mentions things from the past, but you could clearly start reading this. You could start reading this and have no idea.
The continuity stuff is more to give you background and context as to where characters are, and we didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. We live in the context of everything that came before us, and so they're doing a good job.
I can't with that quote. Oh my God.
They're doing a good job of kind of catching us up on where these characters are. So it opens through our audience character, which is Chief of Police Paula Robbins, which a name I love. And she's visiting this, it's X months later from the fall of Krakoa. I guess that means 10, or it just means ambiguous. And this chief of police is rolling up on this new kind of X'd out metal fortress that they're calling the Factory, just outside of Merle, Alaska. Knock, knock. Hello, I'm here to see Scott Summers. Well, I'm the next best thing. I am Hank McCoy, but not the Hank McCoy of the past few years. I am the Hank McCoy from Avengers, who was recently brought back at the end of X-Force.
And that's the one line I liked where she was like, oh, did you like Krakoa? And he's like, I don't know. I was brought alive right as it was all coming down to an end.
I like that. Other things I liked that they brought back, Edie and Quentin's relationship. So we've got Temper and Kid Omega.
I forgot about all of that.
I forgot that in Wolverine and the X-Men, right? They were a couple. And they had nothing to do with each other throughout the entire Krakoa era, but they're still bringing it back, which is great.
But it's interesting because who was he dating? Mindy or Phoebe?
Yeah, Phoebe.
Phoebe, who is in NYX? Phoebe?
Yeah, it's her.
So are they broken up?
I think so.
Also, how did he come back alive?
Oh.
They established that when all that happened, the resurrection ended. Were they able to get in a few? Like, how do they...
I think they got in a few.
But...
Phoenix? Let's just say Phoenix.
I hate that that's not addressed. Also, is Dakin alive then?
Dakin is Helverine.
Oh, that's right. He's Helverine. But did he come from the dead?
I don't read Helverine.
Oh, we should probably...
We should read that. He's sexy.
I know, but is he all bony and like with skulls? I want him naked and having sex.
He might be naked after he reverts back to Dakin after being Helverine. He might be like,
right.
Could somebody get me clothes? And I'd be like, no.
But yeah, basically, Cyclops is the leader of X-Men. And
the Beast is like the team is on the field, and we cut to the field team.
Yes, we have the field team. And so it's like Beast is kind of running the compound.
The home base.
Cyclops is out doing the field missions. And on this team, we have Juggernaut, we have Magic, We have Quentin. We have Edie. What's Edie's Temper? And then we have Psylocke. Am I missing somebody?
No, that's it.
Okay. And basically, what they're saying is the new bad, Orcus has died out, but now there's a new group of people called the Fourth...
The Fourth World.
The Fourth World. And basically, they're like... The U-Men were like, we want to take over X-Men's powers, but they're like, we also want to be but they're kind of like that, but also want AI involved.
It was a weird reference, I think, to Morrison's run where John Sublime, they referenced John Sublime.
Yeah.
And they said that he predicted a third species. Turns out that was AI. So now we're a fourth species, which is the amalgamation of human, mutant, and AI. And that's what they're going for.
Yeah. And so what happened was Cerebro showed that there was new mutants. Wolverine went to go check it out, gets captured. They go follow Wolverine. They find him through him doing some psychic yelling. I did like that part where they're like, you don't have any transponders. And he's like, Emma, Jean, Psylocke,
Right.
Quentin. Yeah, he's like, I just have to think really loud. So they find him, but they're like, hey, but who are these other 6 mutants? It turns out that through some sort of experimentation or some procedure, these 6 people were turned into mutants.
Yeah,
where
so
their
they
mutant
have
gene clicked on.
Their mutant gene activates in adulthood, not puberty. So everyone's like, what? How'd you do that?
And we don't see any of their faces.
They're dressed like as AIM soldiers.
AIM soldiers, but with an X on it. So these are the new big bads. But back on the compound, we see Herman Globman. Glob Herman, whatever his name is. He's the plant guy. He's growing plants because they're in Alaska.
Just like, I feel like that's very Age of X-Man coded.
Yeah, and then we have Zorn, who is...
Zorn's on the team. That was a surprise.
Zorn is a healer. Hanging out with Magneto is also on the team. Here's the other thing. Why is Magneto on the wheelchair?
I mean, it's iconography. He's the new Xavier.
But he can walk, though, right? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I think he's
just like floating around. Like, is that just like he's like, I'm tired?
It's Xavier iconography. It's Xavier coded.
And this, I do think it's just funny of this kind of dumbing down a little bit of everything. All of the characters are a little more like Quentin's back to like, oh gosh, golly gosh, darn it. Like everyone's kind of like that. And then Magneto from like, I just died and I need to atone for this. And Charles, I don't believe you, but I need to be stronger. And now he's like a little old sourpuss.
He's a little sourpuss.
Yeah, I was when he was like smoking a cigarette. He's like, oh, you want to complain about me, Beast? Let me tell you something.
You'd be nothing without me.
Nothing without me.
He's giving Jack Nicholson in The Line of Fire. You need me on that wall. You want me on that wall.
Yeah.
To the point of like juvenile, like notice it really does feel like all of these characters have been de-aged. The way they're drawn physically. Cyclops looks younger. Magneto came back younger. Beast is younger, but Quentin looks younger.
Is this artist?
It's Ryan Stegman.
It looks very much like Wolverine in the X-Men.
Yeah, that was a different artist, but
I know, but it has that feel.
Yeah, it does, which is not our favorite.
I don't like
the cartoonish. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it when it's too cartoony. There's one exception. There's one artist who's very cartoony, and I love it, and I wish he wouldn't just do covers. And that is Scotty Lang. Scotty Young.
Scotty Lang is Ant-Man.
Scotty Lang is Ant-Man. Scotty Young, his period on Young, was it New X-Men?
Yeah.
New Mutants, New X-Men was so amazing. Anyway, this is fine. It's fine, but there was kind of just a depth that's missing so I need to figure out what to be excited about. I need something to get excited about with these, and it's not there yet.
I agree. I mean, this did focus a lot on action. Like we weren't really given many character moments. So, it did not suffer, but I think we are responding to that. One thing that's weird to me is that Wolverine is like, I'm done, I'm through, I'm out. This was all too much, but he's going to be on the other book, the lineup of the other book, right?
Yeah. Who knows?
He's always
Maybe
talking
that, but
shit.
maybe that
I'm
book
not
is
doing
like
this anymore, and then here I
maybe
am.
the Uncanny X-Men. Maybe they're not a team with like an actual mission.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like
Maybe
there's a
they're
situation
forced.
where they're all forced to be together.
Yeah, which would be great. And I'm excited for that book. I'm excited for Gail Simone and her book.
That's honestly because for me, that's someone who's like, what's going to be my take on this? And it's going to be fresh and new. And also, I can write to the lower level and the upper level. Like I can write for all ages.
Yes.
So
correct.
I'm really.
And she can be fun, and she can be emotionally grounded, and she
Exactly.
does good action, and
Yeah.
good jokes. So it ends with Beast and Magneto and Cyclops just kind of talking, having a beer, talking. And then it points out a reveal that there's so one thing we didn't point out is that the town of Merle, Alaska, the reason the X-Men's base is called the Factory is because they took over an old Sentinel manufacturing faculty that the people of Merle, Alaska all worked at. And when it was decommissioned, they all lost their jobs. So
it was
they all hate
decommissioned
the
before
X-Men.
the X-Men came over. So the X-Men
Yeah.
didn't shut it down. It was already shut down by
Right,
like the
right,
government.
right.
So they came in and Magneto built a huge Sentinel statue that's hovering over the town. I mean, I
Did
assume
Magneto build that?
I think
Because
it looks
they
like
they want to strip it for parts. So I feel
but
like
that's what. But I think
there.
if you look at it, it doesn't look like it wasn't part of the factory. I think Magneto made that to be like, hey, just to let you know, you fucked up.
Yeah, we'll see.
So it's cute.
Well,
it's cute.
it's not
but I'm
over.
really waiting for Gail Simone. But you saw something that I didn't. There was a QR code, and I was like, I'm not doing that. But you did.
Hit that with your phone, and we'll talk about it right now.
Oh my god! Wait, what?
So when you scan,
hit it with my phone. I thought you were like, sorry, I don't have
when
my
you
phone.
scan the
with
QR
me.
code, it says X-Men #1 bonus scene, and there's one more scene.
What happened?
So the Do you have your phone? Do you have it?
I don't have my phone with me. No.
Oh, okay. So you scan it, you get one more page, you get one final page, and it cuts over to the organization that hired these fourth world people, which I don't like this choice. The organization is called 3K. So you've got 3K
KKK.
hired the fourth world. And I'm like, that's confusing. I don't like that. But here it is.
And then 2D. Wait. Is that Xavier?
So they're characters in silhouette, in shadow. There are 4 members of 3K. Again, not a great choice. The Zealot, the Doctor, the Means, and the Chairman. And they are all in silhouette. They're sitting at a big round
Wait,
table.
hold it
with
up
an
again.
X
I need to
through it.
see this shit again.
Yeah. So you've got the Zealot, who looks a lot like Cassandra Nova.
Okay.
You've got the Doctor, who I think looks like Dr. Barrington and her like big bitch assistant from X-Force, from like she was in all the Orcus labs, like she was a big X-Force villain.
What about with Kamala Khan's? Who is that woman?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the character in the background.
Is that Sinister?
I think
The
it might be
Means?
Namor,
Oh, Namor, and then the
I
chairman.
think Xavier. Yeah. So they're the ones behind the X gene activating in adulthood, and we'll find out more. But I think these are X characters who
Now,
are.
here's a question. Is this people then, if it's activating in adulthood, are these people that are actually mutants and it just never activated then?
Or were they experimented on?
Or they experimented on?
Right.
Why is
We'll find
Xavier,
out.
why is this Xavier's plan? But
It could
also,
be-
how can he be there? Because isn't he still technically locked up?
Maybe that's
No.
not Xavier.
Okay. All
But
right.
listen, in the future, when you see your QR code, scan it. You know what I mean? Scan it.
I don't
Scan
have
it.
time for that shit.
It's there for a reason. Scan it.
No, because I just
QR code scan.
we were driving and this girl put, which maybe we should do for our podcast. This girl had QR codes all over the back of her car, and it just said "I'm a bitch." It said "I'm a bitch" and a QR code, and it said "Find out more." And so we're like, well. And I'm like, I'm sure, but she went to it and it was just her doing a political podcast. It was some girl's political podcast. And then I was like, do I need to put a
know
QR
what?
code on my car for comic book queers?
We should go to a Comic-Con and just have T-shirts with QR codes on them.
Yes.
And then we should just
Yes.
stand in the middle of the show floor and just get into a fight. And while we're
Yeah, and get it
screaming at each
memed,
other-
screaming gay slurs.
Yeah.
And then in the end, we'll do that thing that like Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph did at that one award ceremony where they're like, "Did you see that? That was acting." You can expect that at the beginning of every Comic Book Queers podcast where we do a reenactment.
Mostly.
Are we ready to talk about the next thing?
Ew, I guess so.
I read a DC comic.
So we saw on shelves that there's a book called From the DC Vault, Death in the Family, Robin Lives, #1. And this has a personal line to our lives because in the
Your
late 80s,
life. I didn't read this shit. You were reading it.
well, in the late 80s, we were invited to call into one of two 1-900 numbers. You could call one number to vote for Jason Todd Robin living, or you could vote for him dying. And I have carried around a distrust and distaste for humanity ever since because I voted for him to live. I spent 50 cents, dialed 1-900, I don't know, Robin lives, and I was outvoted. He died, only to come back later because it's comics, but
He's the Red Hood.
he's the Red Hood.
And how did they make him come back?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, you don't know.
Lazarus
Oh,
Pit?
okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so this is basically a retelling, as if what if he
It's a
was
what if.
almost beaten to death but managed to still survive.
What if I got my way, essentially?
Okay, yeah, so this would have been what would have happened if your phone call was the only one they got.
That's correct. And because it was probably the only one that voted for him to live, I would imagine, because society is sick. And
I did
know
have a flashback to the 80s from this, though.
because of Rick Leonardi, the
Because
artist.
Rick Leonardi is the artist. And
yeah.
Rick Leonardi, watching this, your art's fine. It's maybe not my cup of tea, but for this comic, it was good. It was very expressive. But here's what I remember you as. Whenever Mark Silvestri needed a break in the Outback, Rick Leonardi would show up and I'd be like, what is this shit?
What is this shit?
What is this shit? Give me fucking Mark Silvestri! Ah!
I had kind of like a deep emotional reaction when I saw artist Rick Leonardi. I was like, you don't say, this old
I was like, this
so-and-so, I
can't be the
remember you.
same Rick Leonardi from 1988.
Oh, I remember you, Rick Leonardi.
And the thing is, he wasn't bad. It just he wasn't Mark
He wasn't Mark
Silvestri.
Silvestri.
What is it Silvestri or Silvestri?
As an Italian, I would say Silvestri.
Silvestri. I'm Italian too, but I guess who knows. I want to know, is Mark Silvestri doing anything now?
Yeah, I just met him. I met him at the last New York Comic
what-
Con. He had a
but-
table.
He had a table, but what comics is he doing now? Is he doing
I
his
don't
own
know. I had
stuff?
him
Is he
sign my
doing
own comic. I didn't want to
like
hear his
cyber,
name.
like doing Cyberforce still or something.
Yeah,
like
I think
that?
he's doing something.
Can you imagine if I think I would have a full-on brain aneurysm if they were like, this new X-Men comic book will be drawn by Mark Silvestri. I think my head would literally explode.
Mine would too. Also, I noticed that Rick Leonardi's art does look very different from when it.
It's
like,
definitely
I mean, we're talking 30 years ago.
it's definitely grown. The same thing with who's the guy who did Kick-Ass? What's
Yeah.
that artist's name?
Yep.
Fuck,
It's,
why can't I think of it?
Yep.
I
It's
need to look it
Junior.
up now.
It's someone Junior.
Ramita
John Romita Jr.
John
Thank you.
Romita Jr.
Yes.
By the time he did Kick-Ass, his stuff looked great.
Yeah,
But
we hated it back in the day.
back when it was the fall of with the Mutant Massacre,
Yeah.
I did not like. He drew all the women he drew looked ugly.
Oh, ugly.
Is that bad?
It's not good.
Is that body shaming? Is it okay? That's the one group that it's okay to still make fun of, right? Ugly people, because no one thinks they're a part
Especially
of it.
if they're drawn.
Yeah.
You know? So this opens with the murder of the Joker. He gets a bullet in the head. But then I think we flash back to kind of how we got there.
Yeah. And in this, I thought it was going to be Robin was like saved before he was beat, but no, he was still beat.
He was
but
still
he's
beaten
just
with the
in a
crowbar.
hospital.
Yes, but he did not die.
And then the Joker is trying to get diplomatic immunity from Iran.
I wonder if that must have been a story from this era. Like that must have been
Probably.
true
I mean,
to
that
the
was
original,
at that
'cause
time.
It's ridiculous.
It was like that was when Gaddafi was from Libya.
Right.
Who
Khomeini.
who did they Khomeini, Ayatollah
Yeah.
Khomeini. That was
Yeah.
all, but everybody hated the Ayatollah
He was the
Khomeini
bad
back
guy
then.
then. Yep.
And so that was all. He doesn't get the immunity. He tries to kill them. Batman comes in. Basically, the Joker almost drowns, and then Batman's just standing there. And then Superman has to save him. I like how Superman, he's like, arrest him. He was going to let me drown. And then Superman's like, no, you saw that it was going to save him, right? I will say this. I dug this comic. I kind of dug it. What did
I
you
actually really liked it.
Yeah, I
no,
thought it was
I liked
good.
it too. It was great. Yeah, Batman knew that Superman was behind him. He could tell.
But meanwhile, and I will say the reason I like this is because it's going into the trauma. And Jason Todd is now irrevocably fucked up from what happened. And Batman is still like, no, we can't send you to a therapist. We'll keep it in the family. Brings in Dick Grayson. And Dick Grayson's like, yeah, it's fucked up. But it's also just showing you like, hey, here's this billionaire that's still adopting little boys and then making them fight. Like, let's unpack that freak show. Creepy.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Jason Todd was only the second Robin. I mean, you and I are now, there are like 64 Robins, but at the time, it was Dick Grayson, and then it wasn't Dick Grayson, and then it was Jason Todd, and that didn't go well. So it's just weird that, Dick Grayson is the only person who truly could maybe understand what Jason Todd is going through at this point.
Yeah. And so Jason Todd's like, fuck you, Dad. I'm not going to eat dinner. You can't tell me what to do.
I did it by learning. I did it by watching you, all right?
Exactly. That's him. And finally, he jumps out the window because he hears, I think they finally are like, oh, maybe he needs to go somewhere and talk to a therapist. But then
the
it was like,
actually is narrating this issue.
but does the therapist know then? Why does this therapist know that he's Batman?
That's the only thing I thought was weak about this issue. There's so much of Bruce Wayne breaking it down for the therapist as to like why Jason, but she has a line like, and he does it in a way. Oh, but then she knows. Because
but she was like, but she even said
in a way that protects his identity.
It protects his identity. But then I'm like, but then how do you know if he did pregnant him? Why are you saying that?
She's recanting it, so she must find out later. So she's probably retelling the story with the knowing everything. Robin, but not having it at this point in the story yet. Yeah.
But I think it was finally like, you need to get some professional help. And he's like, you're going to send me away. And so he jumps out like, I'm going to go fight. Fuck you, Dad. I'm going to go fight crime. Goes to the Scarecrow. Worst person ever.
Worst person. Yeah.
Who has fear toxins.
Yeah. No, when you're going through trauma, don't fight Scarecrow.
With that's like in the Marvel world. I'm going to go fight Mirage. Oh, I just had a horrible traumatizing event. I'm going to go fight Mirage.
Right.
Dummies. Of course, he has a gas mask on, but then he's like, whoops, I can still get it if I touch you. And he relives the whole trauma, relives his mom. Did his parents die, or did they just send him to live with them?
He's a Robin. His parents are dead, I'm sure.
So his parents are dead. He sees the mom. The mom disintegrates into a skull. It's all fucked up. Batman comes in and saves the day, but now he's left there carrying off an all fucked up Robin. And it's like, how are you going to fix this? And he's like, oh. And then at the end, it would be funny if at the end Batman was carrying him off and he's like, oh, I wish people called and said he died. This is way worse.
I think Batman, when he was carrying him off, he also whispered into his ear, like, did you put on a little weight? You're heavier. Just to add to his trauma.
Oh, what if it was in the end where it's just like, and this is all because of what Joker did. Joker? That's not what I'm fucked about. Batman's been touching me. That is like,
and then the Comics Code Authority was like, told you so. We were right all along. It was pedophilia all along.
Do you remember in the 90s someone made a gay t-shirt of Robin and Batman making out? And sure. I look back at that being like, he was a child.
Gross.
This is not
back then,
good.
We didn't care about that.
Oh, speaking of, I just rewatched. I bought Wild at Heart on Blu-ray.
Ooh.
And so I showed it to my friend and Joe, and they liked it. Because Diane Ladd, how can you not like Diane Ladd putting lipstick all over her face? Like, they're like, what is happening? But I do remember watching it, and I'm like, oh no. how old is Laura Dern supposed to be in this?
Oh yeah.
Because I remember, because back then, if she was like, I'm 16, you're just like, whatever, I'm going to watch it. But nowadays, you're like, do you know how old she was?
On the list of directors I would trust to keep things age appropriate, David Lynch, not on that list.
Do you know how old she is?
How old?
20. Yay!
Oh, thank God.
She's 20.
Thank God I can watch it. Do you know, speaking of rewatching old movies, I am currently going through a John Waters rewatch. Watching every John Waters.
John Waters has a retrospective at the Academy Film Museum. Oh. It's literally an entire floor. There's a room dedicated to every movie.
Oh my God.
Every movie, even like Cecil B. Demented, an entire room. Like, here's Maggie Gyllenhaal's outfit from Cecil B. Demented. It's amazing.
So I've already done my first watch. We're not going in any sort of order. We're just randomizing. Who wants to guess what my first John Waters movie was Friday night?
I mean, I'd feel because of your age, it would be Hairspray. Or Crybaby.
What does that mean? No,
Are you saying
Serial Mom?
Serial Mom. That would have been my next one because it was like Hairspray, Crybaby, Serial Mom were the big movie released ones.
When he after.
Well, we all know. I mean, I already talked about how I was asked to audition for Serial Mom and I turned it down.
Oh my God! Please wait. What?
Because I didn't tell you that.
No.
I was performing this one-man play where I was performing all the characters.
Oh, you were in Baltimore. Yeah.
In Baltimore, and I performed at this one, and my one friend was like, saw me, because I would do forensics, where it's like competitive acting, and I was winning all these awards, and my one friend's like, come, we're having like a talent night, come and like do your play that you do. And I did Children of a Lesser God, where I did the sign languages and acted both parts, Marlee Matlin and William Hurt, and it got a standing ovation. And afterwards, Pat Moran, who I did not realize, she gave me her card, and she's like, I'm making a new John Waters movie, and you would be great for the boyfriend role, Matthew Lillard's part. And she said, call me. And I was like, I'm not cute enough to be in a movie. And so I didn't call. And then Matthew Lillard came. I could have been in Scream.
You could have been Stu.
I could have been Stu.
You could have been in Twin Peaks: The Return.
Anyway, but Serial Mom is great. Serial Mom.
My favorite part of I think when I do this rewatch, I think to me the highlight's going to be Mink Stole. Like, I think I'm going to watch these movies just hyper focused on Mink Stole. Fuck you, you motherfucker, you ugly whore. But it was when she's like, what did she say? What did she say that you recognized? It's okay, you can tell us. Would you like to tell a female officer? What did she say? Just say it. Pussy! Pussy! That's what she said.
Oh, you fucking whore! I can't believe you said pussy. I fucking love that movie.
So good. Anyway.
Oh, Baltimore.
I think that's it, friends.
Yeah, we covered it all. We covered John Waters. We covered gay dating shows. We covered DC. We covered Agatha. We covered Longlegs. We covered a lot.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford without a mustache. Was he in something previously with the mustache, or are they just referencing the comic?
Girl, they're referencing William Hurt.
Oh, so that's right. He's William Hurt, but he's dead.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
That's why it's a joke, like the new look.
Oh, they're like, haha, he's dead.
Haha, the guy died. It's a new actor. Haha.
Well, that's cruel.
And unusual.
Anyway, I don't know if I like that. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, thank you
also, way to be prescient about William Hurt by referencing Children of a Lesser God. That was weird.
So this is your old room. Small bed. See, I still remember some of it. Guys, if you are watching this and being like, what are these two faggots doing on a screen? Well, I'm going to tell you how it happened. I loved pussy and I loved boobs, but one day I read a comic and I didn't anymore. Because if you read comics, well, then that makes you queer.
You ugly whore.
Bye.
Damn.